Um, trying out a new thing for you specifically, 'cause I have my face cam up.
And I see it.
How does it look?
It looks like you got a lot of red and blue, but like you're definitely visible and you look just fine.
Okay. Red and
Um,
blue.
I muted the audio, but the audio does work, so there's that.
Okay. Well, yeah. Uh, red and blue?
Yeah, I'm seeing some like just like you got like some fuzzy blue all over you, and then your background's got like red all over.
Ah, you're. It's probably 'cause the camera I'm using is the PlayStation camera, right? 'Cause it's the only one that like lets you hook right into the PS4 and like natively work and shit.
But like yeah, it's pretty clear that yours like
Okay.
like you're visible. It's not that bad. It's
Right.
just different.
I would like to get a better face cam, but I kind of don't know what to use.
I mean that would still do it. It's still pretty easy.
Yeah, for sure. It's just gotta get that viewer enjoyment in. If I don't support my first viewers, how am I gonna support my viewers when I have a million or a billion million?
Very true. Green is going. I got it on the outside.
Mm,
While you're playing that, are you
okay.
still interested in making the games and stuff? We're gonna probably set that to the side so you make like 5 minutes.
You can set it to the side.
Okay.
Like
I also just like
I'll figure it out. And to be honest with you, I like hate my brain because immediately after like setting stream up, I was like, oh, I don't want to fucking play Rocket League at all.
really.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, well, if I get back into it.
It's like it's a game you got a lot of memory that's from. So like you'll run into them and play them depending on your mood.
Well, that's the thing is that I have a lot of memories with it, but I also have a rank that's in, not platinum, oh my god, a rank that's fucking champ level, and so I'm facing people who are going to do, as I would claim, nutty ass shit.
Yeah. And
You're,
then you're probably not gonna feel like you're gonna be doing as good as them. Is there any way to mute chat while you're playing?
oh, I mean, yeah, but chat's not an issue. It's my own head is the issue. I could, you fix everything in the game as much as you can, but you can't beat your head.
Nah, I get it. It's just one of those things where it's just like, yeah, you just need to get back and things back and get to it.
If I,
Not that you're not
I,
but yeah.
I have labeled this as a birthday stream. By the way, it's
Nice.
my birthday, in case you didn't know. Haha. um, but I have labeled this as a birthday stream so that in case Rocket League's not my, want in the 10 minutes it's gonna take to get there, haha, um, that I can just change games to something else. And the pressures of being on camera will surely help me this time.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I was honestly like, before you were calling me, I was probably going to do this, but it was going to take me longer to decide what to play. That sounds fine.
I'll probably have the stream still open and everything if you do such a thing. They also might give you moments so I can say goodbye to Vicky.
Bye, Vicky. Thank you. Okay. I will not. Fun is for people who don't have it. It's been a really long time since I've played Rocket League. Like, a long time. Used to be very good at it, but now I feel like I'm just the worst. Definitely my teammates think I'm the worst. I am, like, literally never studied rotation at all, and it probably shows. Although I think that they're throwing, so... yeah, I don't know. Hope that I am, like, decently audible and all that. I don't know if anybody else is really in chat or anything, but if anybody else wants to comment on audio quality, that would be very cool and good of you. I have chat open on... Actually, wow, I don't have chat open. I am supposed to. Okay, now I do. Now I have chat open. Very critical message from Jarmy Temptar. So how's everybody doing today? It's my birthday today, in case I haven't mentioned that. I have an obligation to mention that every 15 minutes, just so everybody's very clear. But how's everybody doing today? I myself am doing pretty okay. We had a couple of rough spots, but you get over them, you get through them, you get past them. You just run your sets. Let's go, poggers, all that stuff. We're gonna hit you with the LMAO. I don't know what he said, but it got censored out. Minus this one out so I can see my pre-background. My pre-background is pre. Mike doesn't want to cooperate because I don't have my ear in the other thing. Itchy nose. So this is like my second, I think, or third stream ever, so you're gonna have to forgive me because I'm still getting used to talking while playing video games. It's very natural for me to do when I've got somebody in the room to do a little bidding with, but now I have to make the bids. Very bad time. Wow, I am just... My teammates must love me. At least I haul ass. Got that. Oh. 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 That's not very good. Oh, wow, good save, though. Okay, so... yep. You talked to Oompaville? How was that? Oompaville is a, I don't know if he does Twitch streams too, right? But he does like YouTube comp stuff mostly. They caught me glancing like Ted Danson? Cody Danson? I feel like it's Ted Danson. I have no boost. Pioneers used to ride those babies for miles. One of these days, I'm thinking sometime in May, I'm going to get a capture card, and if I can swing it with the capture card, I'm also going to try and get, like, a better microphone. Or not, sorry, a better microphone, because I'm hoping mic quality is pretty good now. A better... better webcam. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to use it on PS4, but the pixelization is not cutting it for me. So it's like a cool aesthetic, but it's like not the aesthetic I'm really going for, or is it actually? I don't know. But that's one of the thoughts for something in May to improve stream quality. I'm hoping, at least with the capture card as well, that I'll be able to start streaming more games more frequently. Maybe even get a schedule set up so that I can be a real streamer. Very crazy, right? But yeah, I love to stream something like Animal Crossing, love to stream, I'd love to stream Isaac, which I could do on my PS4, but I have the most save time on my Switch, and so that's the version I'd like to play it on. Yeah, I'm done having that. Oh yeah. Ooh, that was tight. It's a tight little piece, as they say in the community. I need this boost. It's very important to me. Don't ever talk to me or my human sons ever again. Too late on going up for it, so now I have to react. I think that I'm too much of a reactive player in these games, and I think that's why I'm not ever going to be better than good. I think like zombies, I get the flow chart, you know, I get what to do. You know, unlock that door this round, make sure that zombies die. It's a pretty simple flowchart, I guess, but oh, hello. Have you been back for a decent time? Okay. I just heard a murmuring in my ear and was was made aware of your presence.
No, I was just trying to get my everything going again. Maybe I was back, but I was like
I understand. Yeah. I was just talking about plans for the stream, and if there were what I could probably be doing better as a player in these kinds of games. I feel like I have a problem with Rocket League. And Smash as well. Yeah, Smash as well as Rocket League, and you might be able to help with this in a certain extent. Well, so here's the issue that I feel like I run into. I feel like I'm a much more reactive player than I am an active one. And so that leads to me playing more comfortably on the back foot, which isn't a bad thing, you know, of course. Having a good, you know, reactive defense is never bad, but I feel like the trouble comes in where I could make a difference, you know, being more offensive or extending out more than I am normally comfortable. Makes it difficult.
Right off the bat, what were you gonna say?
It's sort of difficult because this is a team game, and overextending in this could be completely like, I don't want to say different, but you know how team dynamics can mess with that kind of thing.
Yes, 100%. Can't wait to go home and poop. Very good. I guess like my comment is basically people start out being really aggressive. That's the like stage 1 of any game. They feel like they just want to do stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Like stage 2, I would say, or like even maybe like way later, but like once you're at least decently good at the game, is reaction. You know what to expect, and you wait for it, and then you can do something in accordance to it, and you could just stop there and just get really good at it, and you could probably be the best player in the world if you're really good at reaction. But the thing is, most people aren't the fastest reaction person in the whole world. They're not going to have the best reaction time, so naturally they will fall into the ranks wherever their reaction speed goes against everybody else. Right?
Yeah.
I'd like to say the step after that is deciding to go somewhere between reaction and I guess offense and like mostly offense. If you're just really good at playing
that makes sense.
The offense has to be a matter of you need to think of everything that could go wrong, and or at least just the most likely things that could go wrong and prevent them. That would also help like to save. So the main thing is you have to just think about the situation and react in whatever way it demands, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it has to be situation.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure. They may or may not be able to. I'm not actually as concerned. Because, to be real, even if they can't hear you, my commentary will be better because of you. Unless you...
Yeah, my comment is just like, it's not one of those, like, you just do one thing, you get better at it. It's, you do bad at it, you keep trying it, you still do bad at it, you keep trying it. If you get a little better at it, then you get better at it, then you're good at it.
Right. It's more just that as a result of being, and I notice this a lot right now, specifically in Rocket League, the best players are very good at teamwork, and it's kind of like playing doubles with somebody online in like Smash, you know what I mean? You can't communicate as well, and so your plays are never going to be better than somebody who like knows the person they're playing with. Never.
But there are definitely people who can just get good at, or like, what people need to know and only say the important details, and or request what the other person wants before you start anything.
Right.
And just try to feed them the information that they think is needed. Are you playing with Tempter?
No. No, Tempter is Jeremy, actually. He's on work right now. But
He's like,
I see that. That makes sense. I'm assuming he's still at work. In which case, thank you for avoiding your work with our stream. And also, I hope that they really reconsider that 15-minute walk around perimeter thing, because that's stupid as hell. Well, so every 15 minutes they have to walk around the perimeter, but from my understanding, it's basically 15 minutes to walk the perimeter, and then they're basically just telling him to keep cycling the perimeter. But before, he had the opportunity to like sit in a car or sit in like a way station possibly, and like watch from there, which allowed him the free time to do other things that were like that could or could not be more worthy of his time. It does absolutely suck, and on top of that, there have been some mismanagement stuff he was telling me about today.
any mismanagement where there's lost work or just like just ineffective, inefficient stuff is just
Always.
But, yeah, if they have like, if they're trying to deter something, I guess I kind of get it.
They're trying to deter sleeping on the job because I guess that's a big problem with their industry. Or possibly just not work-related activities in a broader sense, but that was the point I was gonna make, but it's gone now. I'm too in the game.
Doesn't sound like it's really avoiding much because enjoying this lovely stream here.
That's probably true, but I would be wagering that if he's on that, he's probably got it on his like phone on his pocket, one earbud out. Yeah. So how are you doing?
Doing good. My brother is currently talking to my parents. The one who's living in Oregon right now.
Right.
Jason.
Jason.
They're just talking about the coronavirus.
Is he, you said Oregon?
Yeah.
How's Oregon with the corona?
I don't think they're much worse than us. Same sort of thing, I guess.
Well, we're the third in the country, third or fourth.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect them to get that back. We almost had.
I got water, but alls I've been drinking is piss. Pepsi, actually. That's good.
Yeah, Michigan has 31,424. So, we're doing real bad, but they're actually real good.
I believe it. We have, from what I can understand, Michigan has actually been a fairly productive state in terms of, like, trying to limit coronavirus, and it still wasn't enough.
Our people suck.
Yeah, they do. The protests in Lansing? I want to choke those people so bad.
I get it, it's bad. But, like, also the businesses suck. The businesses have not been doing what they're supposed to here.
Oh my god, no. And, like... I have heard tell of businesses in other states, not in Michigan and not where I live personally, but businesses like trying to skirt the, because they have the lines thing now, but there's a size requirement for the lines.
Sorry, what do you mean? Like, talking about the stores?
Yeah. Stores have to. I'm sorry. I'll start from the beginning. Stores have to limit how many people come in, and as a result of having to limit how many people come in, uh, they they measure the store size, and if the store size is above, like, I don't know what the size is, they have to implement lines. Then there are only supposed to be so many customers in at a time. Our Walmart on the north end, I think, is one of the stores, but I've heard a lot of stores that are like mismeasuring in the like parts of their store so that they don't have to qualify for this because they don't want to lose business.
Yes. That makes earlier we were talking about does not need to do this.
Yes.
Their maximum occupancy in the one that I work at, I think, is like 627 people.
Yeah. That's actually a fair bit smaller than I would have expected, to be honest.
On our worst day of counting so far, they have been counting at least a good days. They only got up to half of that cap at the peak of the day. So, not even close to needing fully. Again, that is a peak time and a peak day.
Right. Well, I think that the Walmart could probably. I'm assuming that the Walmart is of a similar size. But from my understanding, our Walmart is only allowing about 200 people in the store at the same time.
Okay, that sounds right, though, because, like, the thing I think my boss has said, I think they're dividing by, like, 1,000. Like,
Okay.
their square footage divided by 1,000. And that's, like, the amount of people that you have to put in. My buyer is definitely a little bit bigger than that.
Right.
I wouldn't think it's 3 times bigger, but it might be just, like, exponential sort of thing.
Well, the 200 is just for Corona times. It doesn't have anything to do with their normal stores occupancy. I would imagine they could probably.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. And, like, Marysville's coronavirus occupancy is, like, 627. We can have it there during.
That's such a larger number than I would expect, but I mean, like you guys said, you guys aren't even close to getting the hitting the cap.
No, and we've done a real good job of, like, separating people, and, like, yeah, when we were even on those busy days, it's still, like, a decent amount of people, but we're all busy, so, you know, we should be able to have people standing relatively far apart from each other.
Right. Well, I mean, half the problem with, like, people is people, and how they don't follow the guidelines, you know what I mean?
Yes, which is why, you know, we have to have, like, additional actually channel people to certain spots and tell them to stand on these certain little things, and if they don't stand on them, we yell at them. So,
No
like,
one likes
we're
being
able to-
yelled at.
Yeah, but we're also able to kick them out.
Yeah, you are.
Like, Meyer's not that bad about that kind of stuff. Like, we would have kicked people out. So we can protect them.
Yeah, we just got a goal. This is a new game mode that I am not very sure about how I feel about.
Of course, I've never seen it before, so this is the first time for me. It's kind of
It's so you're anytime your team hits the ball, it automatically redirects towards their goal, as you can see by like the curved shots.
yeah.
And the ball increases in speed the more times that it's hit back and forth. But it's odd Yeah, that seems to be what these two are doing, but I kind of don't feel like that's the strat.
Hit it back sooner so they don't really have a chance to react.
I don't like ultra defensive play in this game. It's boring to watch. I don't think it's the only option. I am dissenting that it is the only option.
It's not cool that it just like automatically is basically making every shot a goal.
It's not making every shot a goal. It can only curve so much. I've seen it hit the backboard beyond, and it can also, you know, hit above, of course, but,
My thing is like it shouldn't even be close to almost every shot's a goal shot. Like the fact that it's even like that's even how it is scary.
I'm still of the opinion that reaching out, because they have one guy out too. I feel like the strat might be 2 back, 1 forward.
I'm just advertising.
Oh, I see.
To the small little Discord together.
I could have made that a life-saving goal. Hi, Roxanne. I'm okay. Thank you. Very cool.
I told the chat we're getting the no one's real, of course. Tim Potato's probably busy.
Yeah, well, on top of that, of the 4 people who are here, like 3 of them already know I'm streaming.
I literally was just saying it's a potato nose.
Yeah,
I didn't
basically.
want to add him because I don't really want to like,
At
he's
him.
aware that this thing is here.
Yeah.
I of course also sent an invite to Dante and Tyler Bark.
Yep.
I'm hoping they will choose to accept at some point.
I'll hit Tyler up at some point and let him know. I dropped him a link to the stream, but I was also like, I'm pretty sure you're watching Super still, so just keep doing that, honestly. That will be more entertaining for your time.
That's probably true, but also I still wanted to at least join Derper.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I said, him upset to never requires. Like he'll still be there. We've known this, and we all the more reason to join my server.
Exactly.
Right? You never mess with somebody, obviously making a new block the way you start with.
Exactly.
Oh dude, that actually looks like a pretty fun strat. That's really scary.
It was really scary, wasn't it? Oh my god, I've exploded.
But I think what might actually be cool is just having a line of you guys going out to attack, like you were doing for a second. And you having explosion trying to kill them.
It really did. Stream looks good if 30 FPS.
I think so. Oh, my homework back up.
Dude, so this guy knows the strat. You do gotta do 2 back, 1 forward. Or maybe 2 forward, 1 back, but you gotta have somebody back, definitely.
You do, like in case all else fails, you need.
Yo! Except for not really, but yo! Very cool. Yeah, well, there were a couple of times where I basically did that, because as soon as you hit it, it yeets itself to the other side of the field. It has passed me, and we have now lost the goal. I like that goal explosion though. Hey. Echo. I mean, it's not really going to cost us the game because they are 6-3, 6-4 now. But, you know.
So I'm back to trying to do a coding assignment.
Yeah, it's fine.
Thank you. I apologize in advance because I will probably just be.
Right.
I'm glad you're playing a game. Like, the goal is just to hopefully, like, you got something fun to entertain yourself that I can also watch on the side and I will also enjoy while I'm getting homework done. Because it is a bit of a compromise, sadly. Best I can do, but I think it's still pretty fun. Oh, I mean, I hope.
To be honest with you, I wasn't really thinking about what you said, and so it kind of just went in and out. So what did you say, so I can properly respond?
Oh, I was just worried that you were just kind of like upset with the situation, but my cousin was just kind of like, I just kind of like the thought of this setup. It does feel like neither of us has any real, like, doing any one thing, so I can still be productive with my homework and pay attention to it if I need to, and then dip out when it is you. Also, if I dip out, go ahead and not talk to me. I feel like you got something to do.
Well, I'd have found something to do anyways. Like, leveling with you, you know, you did help me find what I should be doing, which was a great suggestion, the in-betweener games. The games that you're always playing but will never beat. Nuclear Throne, the Isaacs, the Rocket League, the... Oh, did you hear the second one's coming?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a second one and it's on its way, dude. Yeah.
Okay. I did listen to the volume from the chat, or like, I listened to the sound from like the stream here.
Yes.
And I am on.
Okay. Well, I can change that if you would like, but...
No, it's fine. I was just checking to see if like any of what I said needed to be explained to me else wanted to hear it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you are basically co-hosting right now, huh?
That's fine. Definitely still fun. But in this case, birthday sounds like it's at least existing best it can be during.
That's kind of been my mentality during it, is that like I can think about all of the things that it could be, or I can think about what it can be and what it is because it's the best it can be.
Yeah, because like a lot of times when things are bad, it's like, well, this sucks. However, it got to here, it feels like it can happen anytime. It feels like it can happen every time now that actually.
Right, but
it's a one-time special occasion.
Literal pandemic. Well, it could be 2 times. You hear the stuff that's like we could be quarantined till 2021, 2022?
I haven't heard that, but I feel like we could be quarantined again. I do think we're out of quarantine for a while.
I feel like, yeah, we could be quarantined again, but they're talking about the quarantine lasting that long. At least that's my understanding of it, and I'm like, yes, but also I feel like a quarantine that lasts longer than, I don't know, a half of a year or a year would start like riots in the streets. Not that there aren't basically already riots in the streets, because fucking Lansing.
I know, but like different situation, like losing our government and everything in it.
Yeah. The armed protest in the streets can actually eat my ass.
Yeah, that's right. I don't like.
feel like having a community to help yourself like build it with would help immensely.
Well, I'm sure it would. My bigger thing is like I would love to just have a video saved somewhere to like pull up to show somebody.
Yeah.
sometime,
Well,
at
and
least once.
going back to something you used to suggest to me a very long time ago, I think that this kind of could fill the same role as like diaries, audio logs, how am I doing today's, you know? More just like I could pull up my stream of my birthday today, and I could say, oh, I remember this one. This is the one where I was in quarantine, and it was like it was the best birthday that it could be, but nobody wants a birthday during a quarantine. You know?
I wish that there was more that I could do for things. Like typically we try to get a whole party going.
Yeah.
Like that can't be every year anyway. Like it wouldn't be as fun if it wasn't like if it wasn't guaranteed.
I
would for it to be a special, but
yes, but birthdays do only happen once a year. I guess all holidays do too. But
I know. But like I don't want to get the feeling of that I have to do it every year. Like make a big party. I want it to be like choice that we just did it.
yeah,
If it's for every year, that's cool.
you know,
It's just like the way I look at it, I guess.
I've had a very interesting series of birthdays, to be honest with you. I think I've had like about every birthday experience we've had now.
Good for you.
I've had like big surprise birthday, that got checked off, did that get checked off last year or 2 years ago?
Where are you talking about the one where there was one day where you're just like, yeah, I'm not gonna do anything for my birthday. I'm like, screw that, let's just pull everybody. Like, let's just invite everybody.
I do remember that, but no, it was not that year. But that was a good year. No, what I more mean is that I literally had a group of people, unbeknownst to me, plan a birthday party for me. Yeah, and that's like some Disney Pixar level like friendship.
Do you remember the story behind that? Was it you?
It was the year I got out of the mental hospital, and
Sadly, probably at times I wasn't
I don't
late.
think so. I think that yeah, you and I were on the outs possibly.
Well, at least at that time it was just kind of, yeah. It didn't feel like there was anything to do.
It was on the outs for sure.
I knew that it was.
Well, we're on the ins now. We're back. We're moving closer together. I mean, as close as we can during quarantine, 6 feet apart, all that. No, it does not. But they were also fighting. Huh?
I feel like you could just race in there and just start like banging at their cars.
You probably
Like, that'd be a breeze.
You probably could. As a matter of fact, I think I saw one of the teams doing that, but I don't know that it's a great strat unless your defense is like rock solid.
I mean, yeah, but like their defense would definitely not be very solid for that.
That's true. Oh, we have a third member finally. That's cool.
Was it just the two of you or something?
Yeah, it was just the two of us for a long time.
Oh, okay. Right. Here we go.
My mom has hated working from home. It is it's a very tough job that she has to do, and she has to do video calls on occasion. She hates showing off her bedroom. Big problem for her. I told her she should just live in the basement. She was not having it. She was like, nope, won't do it in there. That's a very good solution, but no. I don't even know what the plan was there. Alright, I'm gonna sit back and I guess everybody's probably gonna do that. You can get a pretty good advantage when you get it off the right way. I feel like rotation. I don't know, sometimes with these games I feel like they're building specific things. Like Drop Shot felt like you were trying to build up your passing plays with your friends, and this game kind of feels like positioning. Maybe? I don't know. I don't know at all, actually. Could be that my theory is just wrong. Oh, could be. Jesus. It seems I somewhat disconnected. What do you mean by that? Like, 'cause I can't fix it right now, of course, I'm in the middle of a match, but do you mean like Discord, or do you mean Twitch, or... Oh, okay, let me pop over to Discord again for a second. I was wondering why you went all dead on me for a sec, but, let me just win this match very quickly. And by win this match, I mean lose this match. I wanted to get the rebound. I can't get the rebound. Oh, alright, that works. Let me see what we're doing with the... I bet I just, like, dropped out of the, call, in a matter of speaking. Voice connected. Let me leave and come back. How about that? How about I leave? And then... Shit. If I leave, which I've done, and then I come back, which I've done. I'm still here, so I guess that didn't work. Hello? Oh, I can hear you again.
Okay, maybe it was mine.
Maybe, it was weird.
Well, it's all good now.
I suppose so. Yeah, you just sort of went quiet, and I was like, oh, he did say he was going to work on homework. This makes sense.
Right, but, like, also, it cut you off in the middle of something you were saying, so I was just kind of, like, surprised.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured there was something wrong, and then I turned on the audio from your stream you got going, and I heard you were still talking. I'm like, yeah, he definitely is not connected anymore, despite what it says.
I was pretty confused. I was like, huh, something's up,
Yeah,
but I don't know what.
but that was it.
Okay, well, as far as things go in that angle, that's like the worst issue I've had on stream. So, I guess how pixely the stream can look on occasion, but what can you do about that? What can you do? Oh, my door is open. My roommates probably don't appreciate that. I will BRB. Babel. Oh, you are not still in here, are you? I'll be right back, Jared. It's chilly in my room. In comparison to like the rest of the rooms in my house, that's chilly. I do have a window open, so I'm not that surprised, but I am surprised at the amount of like difference between the ambient air levels.
I mean, it's good that you're not sharing all the cold with the rest of the house in that case.
That's true, but maybe I'm not glad that I'm not sharing all of the cold with the house. Maybe I want the cold to be shared.
That is rude. You're a punk.
I am a punk. Let's not twist hairs.
I see. Well, don't tell me what to do, and shut up.
You're a punk. Actually, you're the punk.
Ooh, you got me. Ooh. You know, I'm really doing a terrible job of getting my homework done. I'm trying. I am. Like, it's asking me for stuff, I'm just not sure.
Mm-hmm. What, have they fixed blueprint prices? They sure haven't. This still costs $20 to make. This company got sold to Epic Games, same company who does Fortnite, of course, and I'm not surprised that it's this way now, but I am disappointed.
Yeah. But again, I still feel like it's pretty playable without.
You're right to an extent, but you're right to an extent. Different cars have different hitboxes, and if you have a preference for a hitbox, um, you have like no other options. So there's an odd amount of pay to win, although you do still see a lot of different cars with a lot of different things. So people are used to different hitboxes. It's just that when you get used to one, you want to stick with it.
And like, did some of the ones that used to be available become pay to play?
So, they used to have a crate system, and they used to have a key and decryptor system. And the way that it worked was that you could either unlock it with a key, which cost like $1, which is functionally the same as it is now, Or you could get decryptors, and decryptors you could basically earn through like seasonal events. You could get them a couple different ways, and they were like, you can get this item, but you can't trade it. So if you get something like super cool or worth a lot, you can't trade it. But if you get something you really like, you're not going to trade it anyway. Good payoff. Um, or trade off in my opinion. But the beef comes in when Epic Games came in and they changed the way that the system worked. And now they have a blueprint system where you can get blueprints for items and you have to pay credits to make them. And that's totally fine because it's functionally the same for the key system, except it fucks the item pricing that the community had come up with, which was pretty arguably fair because you would have a bunch of very common things going for very cheap, and you would have a bunch of very rare and or sought after things going for more. Of course. You had abysmal prices, of course, on the high end, but you also had, abysmally low prices. And if you had like a market for wanting a very specific decal that you just couldn't find and it was on the lower quality side, you could just, pick it up from somebody for what was essentially the price of like half a key or something, or a quarter of a key.
Right.
But now you have to spend 200, 300, 400 credits on it, and keeping in mind that 100 credits is roughly worth a hundred credits is roughly worth $1 because you can buy a pack of 2,000 credits for 20. Um, prices on everything have largely gone up, but the prices the best way to put it is that they've scrunched prices into this middle where everything feels like it either costs more than it should or less than it should, but nothing feels like it is priced as it should be. Um,
Unpleasant, I guess.
it's unpleasant, and I don't like the blueprint system. I would rather have the crate system. They're
So,
functionally similar, but not the same. But to roll it all back in, you used to have these items that would appear in those crates. They now just randomly show up as blueprints. The reason the crate system is preferable, in my opinion, is because when you get a crate, you might not know what's in it, but you know what item you could get out of it. There's a little bit of an allure that's about that I like, but more than that, it selects down exactly what you could get, and there's a chance that you could spend a key and get something that's like 10 times the reward of that. Um, I guess in essence, they got rid of the gambling aspect of it and crunched prices down as a result. Um, I kind of preferred the gambling aspect of it because you weren't sure what you could get, but everybody could get something that they wanted through trading or through keys.
yeah.
The
So it's
trading
more exciting, more dynamic, rewarding, whatever.
the trading system still exists, but I don't even know the state of it anymore because uh, I don't really play this game a whole lot anymore.
What a shame.
You say that like I'm missing out,
Which I think you are.
but I don't think I'm missing out.
I think you are.
Even after playing this game on stream, I don't think I'm missing out.
I mean, you were playing the regular game. You're playing a new mode.
That's true. I was playing the game though for a couple of matches.
I guess. I just remember you were actually feeling really strongly about this game and, like, looking back on it pretty fondly. So I thought,
No, I hear
at
ya.
least,
There's nostalgia for it. It's just it's not the same game that I played.
how much changed besides the card buying?
Um, the community? It used to be a lot more friendly. You used to have a lot more people who you could actually like interact with and talk to. Now literally everybody in this game is either silent or trash talks. It's one or the other. In a
Yeah, that's the only interaction
uh,
personally when I played it. Yeah, it's always just been trash talkers.
I'd say in addition, and this is possibly a little bit more of a subjective claim than the other ones, but the community used to be a lot more casual, and I kind of miss it because it just felt like, you know, everybody was like, oh man, have you checked it felt like you hanging out with a bunch of your buddies and being like, oh, did you see this new tech? Did you know that you can stall King Dedede's up B if you hold it or something? I don't know if that's a thing. I just, you know, threw
It's
something out
not.
there, but
Yeah, I gotcha.
it felt like a large community that you could become a part of, and now this feels like a virtually single player game that you can connect with other people to play. I don't know if that like rings true, but that's just sort of my 2 cents on the topic. Like I said, Smash is much my preferred game, but I can't stream that. When I get my capture card in hopefully May, though, hey, I have a question for you, Jared Graham. I think that the thing is happening again. I'm not sure what you have.
No,
Oh, okay. I have a question.
I was waiting for the question.
Oh, okay. That's very fair. I have a bad habit of asking if I can ask a question.
You didn't ask. You were just said you have a question.
I do indeed, but I have a bad habit of announcing that I have questions and or asking and or. But
No, I was probably, but like, you know,
yeah. So the question I have is, did you get a stimulus check?
I sure did.
Wow. Extremely cool.
And I think it's like related to the taxes for this year.
It's related to the taxes for this year and last year. So, you want to know something cool? I don't get the stimulus check.
Yeah,
Uncool.
but
But
I get it.
I guess, but I mean, technically it's based on your taxes. Technically the government does my taxes cuz the government's my paycheck. But people who collect SSI and SSDI are ineligible. And I agree with it in my very specific circumstance where I am obviously okay not getting the check. But I don't agree with it in every circumstance because I know people who basically live off of SSI, SSDI, and as a result of everything else going up in price, they are now struggling.
Yeah, I guess that'd be a good reason.
I have heard that there's a second stimulus that could or could not be on the way.
Yeah,
I have heard that it could be $2,000 per month. Depending, of course.
Situation.
Don't see it going away anytime soon.
Neither do I expect that second one to come fast for sure.
I expect it to come to pass, but I expect it to not be $2,000. And I also expect it, like the first one, to have stipulations and that I will most likely, again, be cut out of it.
Yes. And I actually think there's a chance I might even be cut out of it. Like, anybody who's still getting a paycheck, I won't receive it. I'm surprised I got this one.
My mom got hers, but
Like, I get why they're trying to do it. They're trying to make sure
It already is worse than the Great Depression, my dude.
Well, yes, but like it's starting worse. The only difference is we have different financial policies that we do. So like no wait, but like the government has more options than they used to have. They have more ways to, I guess, reduce the impacts.
Yeah.
That's where this is critically different, and it might not end up being as bad.
Well, definitely the precedent for such economic things exists, but I'm not, to be frank, I'm not entirely convinced the government has our best interests at heart anymore.
No, I don't think so.
I'm
What I'm saying is they have tools they didn't have before, and I just don't think they're using them very well, at least not for really much of anything.
not for anybody other than themselves anyway.
Yeah.
And I mean, who can even say that with authority? Because it's not like we're government, but certainly they're not using it for our benefit.
What I see is it's a little bit of a confliction between they're trying to please the masses, also like others, or the same ones, but like individually for different reasons, are also applying their own bank accounts, depending on whatever you were being on at the time, or whatever that person who's helping with legislation, or just whatever.
Well, so something that I learned as a result of Reddit actually is that the Great Depression was actually a pretty good time for the middle to upper class.
Yeah.
And I was not aware of that fact. I was just kind of like, oh, it must have sucked for everybody. Like, everybody lost money, you know? But, nah, people...
The rich people pulled their money out, and they just enjoyed, not having to pay as much because all the prices were low and everything.
Right.
And they didn't have to pay as high wages or anything, and the rich just didn't help the poor out because they had no obligation to. They had nothing but, they were just winning out in every way.
Well, I kind of think the same thing is happening. I think the rich are pulling out. They have no obligation to help the poor, so they aren't going to. And this is going to be a couple of years before it gets better.
Yeah.
But...
That's what I'm saying is there's a chance that it will be because technically our government has the ability to stop it.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I just don't, like, with the government's track record, I'm not going to operate on things they could technically do. I'm operating on what I think their most realistic play is.
Yeah. And I'm already agreeing with you. I don't expect this to go well.
I'm just starting discourse. I'm not trying to start an argument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Because, we were already in a state where this was about to happen. There was destined to be a recession or a depression.
Yeah, even without the pandemic, we probably would have had some, like a company would have closed or something, and it would have just sparked this just the same way.
Yep. It might not have been as soon, it's just, this was a pretty dramatic way for it to happen.
This is the card we were dealt.
Yeah. It's like fighting off.
Definitely. Honest.
Like being inside and online.
Yeah, like the pandemic's definitely hitting me much less than it's been hitting other people, but you know, it's.
I'll be honest, I mostly had pluses on my side.
There's less incentive for you to see people you don't want to see now.
Oh, that's not how I say it. The thing is, there's more reason for me to actually focus on my homework.
Yes. Less.
Which is,
yeah.
It's rough, but
It's the meme that's like introverts normally staying inside. I don't want to stay inside. I don't want to be told to stay inside, friend. Don't you usually anyway? Me, introvert, crossing my arms. Yeah, but I wanted the choice.
Not for me. I love the people just saying stay home. Because then spending every day going to get her parents cigarettes
Mhm.
or something. And then yeah, same thing for me. I don't feel obligated to go out of my way to like go visit somebody because it's been too long since I visited them, rather than like visiting because I want to visit.
God, can you imagine when this is all over, though? You're gonna have a lot of that to catch up on.
Yeah, whatever. Hopefully it'll be during the summer and I'll have time.
I'm hopeful that this situation will be resolved as early as June to July. But I'm not close, even remotely close to being like, well, that's gonna be when it's gonna be. Because there's so much wiggle room for this to go so much souther and so much, well, norther, I guess, to use my words, but
Yeah. I mean, my guesstimate is I think we're gonna have a brief break over the summer, at least for a month or so. And then I expect to move back down on lockdown during like fall or winter times and stick around on that for a little while. And then maybe present like vaccines in development or something.
well, the thing that, like, vaccines take time.
A year to even just get out.
Yeah. But I don't think that we're going to be in quarantine for that long, so I think... Well, they said that we're at peak cases right now in Michigan, which I don't entirely believe, but if they're being entirely, like, truthful, it's good news, because it means that we are at least more than halfway over.
I wouldn't say that's true either. Even if we're at peak cases, that doesn't mean that we're at the halfway point. It just means we'll have the highest number of them at any given time.
I think I misspoke. Did I say peak cases? So the thing that I meant was that I think that we're at the point where it's not peak cases, because obviously that number keeps rising, but it's like hospitals are now at a point where they are able to manage the cases that are going to come in, or to something like the hospital system isn't going to get overwhelmed now. It's slowing down to a point where we're not going to get overwhelmed, like, hospitally. And that's, I've heard in Michigan, and I've also heard for New York that that is the case. And I think New York is the number one.
Yeah, but they kind of got there through restrictions in the first place.
Yeah.
So they're in a different timeline than us. They sped things up.
That's true.
Like, we're not even in a great spot, like, yeah.
I don't know. I miss hanging out with my boys. And I can really see, like, dissent growing if this doesn't let up by summer. Dissent into something, but I just meant dissent in, like, the public negativity sense.
We could do with a little bit of that.
I think that we could do with a revolution, personally, but I mean, I'm a little more wild than you.
I mean, whatever, I guess, as long as I can still, I guess, just do what I do.
Yeah, I want, like, a social revolution much more than I want a revolutionary war.
It would be great if, we had some reform.
Yes.
But, again, it'd be nice if it was beneficial. And I would prefer a long-term beneficial rather than short-term beneficial that person.
Well, the great news is that the person who is likeliest to get us out of this is somebody who will do that reform. Because I am not sure that the corporatizing and the politicizing of this is going to do a whole lot. Woohoo! That guy spent the whole game chasing me down, and I still got a win on him.
Good job. Yeah, I saw him blow you.
He was trying for both of us. It was a pretty entertaining time, I gotta tell you. It's an interesting little game that they've created here. It's kind of volleyball in a sort of way.
Yeah. By the way, we also finished that volleyball game. And you said you didn't care for them as much, but like we
Sports anime have to be pretty special to get me interested in them, not gonna lie. There are definitely some standouts in the genre. Like, I want to say, Yuri on Ice, great ice skating anime. And I'm only being half facetious, because I think that the ice skating in that show is actually pretty nice to look at, as somebody who is used to what that looks like. I don't know if you knew this. Did you know my sister used to ice skate? Yeah, she used to be all about that life. So I'm like used to what that kind of stuff looks like, and it was pretty faithful to that, but pretty otherwise like meh.
I'll probably get around to watching it someday, but I still don't care about it.
I think it's got a great opening song, and that's the best I can say about it.
That's never something that brings me into an anime.
Are you kidding? You've never heard a great opening song and been like, I gotta see what that's from.
Keys Nightmare for sure. That was not that great of an anime. But its opening is my favorite I have ever heard. And I remember showing it to you, and I don't know if you cared about it, but it was really impressive.
I hope that this is not an upsetting thing, but I don't even remember it.
That's fine.
Okay.
But, like, the video for it was just really cool. Like, the visuals with the audio was just so impressive, in my opinion.
Okay.
And I might drop you a link.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so drop me a link.
The music itself is good. Like, I think the music in the video is really good. It's just got like some, like, typical, I guess, visualizer sort of animation going for it, which shouldn't be anything all that crazy.
Right.
Well, it's like,
Hey, something that's well used is almost 3 times as good as something that's new and innovative.
I dropped it in the video.
Okay, I'll get to it after this game, or whenever I get to it. But after this game, for sure.
And it's definitely not something you'd expect in the intro, at least. Like, because it's English.
Oh, okay. Like full English?
I don't know, but it's at least like the first 30 seconds I'm listening to right now.
Okay.
I think. It's like, I think somewhere in the middle. Some like English words inside of a Japanese song or something like that. Maybe, but like I don't hear any of the Japanese. Because I don't have that very high volume, but I hear words.
Right, right.
But like looking back on it, it might be a bit much, but I really like the style of it. And it really caught my attention. And I thought it was like a really nice just like feeling game. Futuristic.
I do like me some New Age.
It was nice. So, anyway, it's in the videos.
Okay.
So you can look at it. overwrote the thing that I already had counted before, so I didn't want to actually that. Because I didn't realize that could have just shared it. No.
It's true. You're Discord lusted right now. I understand.
Dude, I am really enjoying Discord, and like, me being newer to Discord, all of the things that I can do with Discord are way better than things that already exist. I'm sad that you don't feel that way, but like, for me being a newbie to it,
I'm wondering how much of my distaste for it comes from the fact that I used to use it exclusively for my Rocket League team. And it's not that anything distasteful happened with the Rocket League team, per se. It was more just that that's what I associate it with, and now that I don't have that, it's like, well, why do I use it?
dude, it's, you know, Paradox, like, I guess when you were in there, you really should have tried to, like, interact with all that. It's a really fun thing, and they got some funny people in there.
Yeah, but interaction means putting myself out there, and that's scary.
You say as your live stream.
I say as I'm live streaming, have acted, have played up on stage.
All your fun, like, everything that you've done in the show, like,
In the show industry. I'm a showman.
yeah, you really are.
I do love performing. It's just that I don't like all of the drama that comes with drama.
That's pretty typical. I think most people in that industry feel the same way.
If most people in that industry feel the same way, why is every single person I've met in that industry, with the exception of possibly like 10 people, actually like toxic?
Because they see it and they don't like it, but they also continue to do it because it's just, you know, fun guys. Any better, they're just doing the same crap because everybody else around them's doing it, so it's like, it's what they see, so they like, it's just pretty easy to just see.
I think there's a
Get trapped in that.
I think there's a simpler answer. I think that once you get told you're good at thing, you have like a little ego about it, and with drama, that ego is hard to not creep into your performance and other parts of your life.
That's probably also true, but it's I just mean, like, that's their crew, and their crew's gonna be like that, and that is, like, the majority of people they interact with, and they enjoy.
That's true.
They're good at
Drama
they're
is
good at
insular.
That was what I was trying to say. It's just like, they'll carry around a part of your friends with you,
That's true.
and sometimes people you work with. I do find that if I don't interact with people for like a year straight, I end up becoming a lot more unpleasant.
Unpleasant with them, or just in a general sense?
In a general sense, I am less acceptable person. Like, I get more pessimistic and just reserved. But the more I deal with people, the less I deal with that. Like, it's like, I guess maybe it's unrelated. I just play over, like, the negative thing, the negative interactions I've had with people, and I always come to the same conclusion. The best way to not have any negative interactions with people is just to not interact with people. Because then I will not have
God,
any
ain't that the truth?
interactions. Right. And, like, I do find that is the easiest way, and it'll just make me the most happy overall. But, like, that also means it's more bland. Like, you don't get all the excitement of hanging out with people.
Yeah, people are important.
Yeah, that's what I like doing. Because, like, there's at least definitely a way to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't, what do you have going on? Thanks for asking, Jared. Not a whole lot.
You're socializing just fine. It might not be as much as you
Yeah, I know. But I also know I'm my own worst enemy when it comes to stuff like that, because half the time I get invited to things, especially things that you and or Vicky invite me to. I say no.
And that's fine. It hurts my feelings and makes me feel like I am for a reason. But I also understand that it's not always competitive.
Yeah.
Though I hope you do take that into account anytime you reject an offer.
I do. I always think about it, and I always am like, well, if I do, it's an inertia, and I'll have fun, but it's either, like, the two scenarios that always come up are always, I'm busy and I have X, or I'm not busy, but anxiety X.
I heard it's either, and I heard anxiety attack.
I said it's either something comes up, or I'm, like, just not feeling it, and I usually tell you when I'm just not feeling it, but,
Whatever.
but the times that it is just me, like, not feeling it, I'm always in my head, like, well, if I just get over the fact that this is something that I'll ultimately like, and then my brain stops, because I'm like, oh, I can't get over it! It's my brain.
It happens, but always try your best to not get that mentality.
Yeah. Hey, I have a question for you. I know you're doing homework, but can you take a peek at my car? Nice. Do you like my Splatoon car?
Yeah, it's got a cool paint job.
Thank you. It's very drippy. Okay.
Then I won't lose that much over it. So I'm not that stressed about it, but at the same time, it's like, this is also my personal class so far. Which is sad, because this is also my class that I care most about.
Right.
This is my job class. But, it's not, I guess, the material itself that is the problem. Just
well, and I'm sure the schedule the switch to online has not done any of us any favors either.
I disagree.
Interesting.
It's definitely made my classes easier on me.
Interesting. With Tyler, he says the exact opposite. But your classes tend to be, not all of them, of course, because I know you still have gen ed stuff you have to do, but you have some tech-based classes as well.
Correct.
And those make a lot of sense to do online.
This class that I'm currently doing was an in-person class, and is now online. And I would argue it is much better.
It's your code class, correct?
Yeah, it's my coding class.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of the classes that I've heard struggle are the classes that do not benefit from being techie.
Makes sense. Though my English class seems fine too. But my English teacher himself was extremely upset by the whole situation. He didn't seem to be doing all that much in the class.
English seems like one of the ones that'd be the easiest to convert to online with you, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The things that I think would struggle would be things like math, geography, and or history to an extent. History less so than math, because I feel like history is kind of just... It's basically an online course that you have to sit there and be for, because you could just look half the stuff up online. But like math's complicated, and you gotta get like people. You gotta get. You have to get people. People have to figure that stuff out. It takes time to work through that in their head, and it may not even ever get to the point where gets worked through in their head. It's hard to do.
Just like that should be an effort. Like none of the classes should be that hard online because there's always a way to do it that it should be even better than in person, in my opinion.
I think.
For math class, I would say the teacher should record a lecture that would just show their normal like way of doing things, but then also hold like sessions for the class to ask questions. Like one day they post a video, and then the next day have questions. The same day as the homework's due or something. Like maybe even just general questions where they can ask about like the first homework assignment and then the next homework assignment.
Yeah.
On the day that the first homework assignment's due.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And that's like pretty much what the in-class experience was for most of those classes. Is just like it's the lecture, the person that's online, and like I have my Java class. This one they even tried to do a lecture one time. They like I think they made a choice. It was annoying. Because this is a class I didn't think needed this kind of scenario. Instead of recording a lecture that like just us where we could all turn on our video if we needed to and show something over like whether you're just watching him. It was extremely unnecessary because he was just sitting there talking to us about like a summary of what you'd read in the book.
Yeah.
And I think he gave us a terrible summary of it that like you just know what he's talking about, but he's not teaching you anything, he's just talking about something. Which is not what lecture should be. Just recap like the end summary of a paragraph, like of a chapter. I can read that I can flip to the end of my chapter and read the summary. I don't need my teacher saying it to me.
Yeah.
But like he had an interactive so we asked questions and stuff. But there's only like 2 minutes of questions at the very beginning of it. Like nobody already asked questions during the rest of it. He never stopped when anybody ever asked questions. So like again, why is this not just a video that's posted online so I can go back and watch over it? So if I forget the material, I can just skip back to it. Or even better, have like tags for like when you talk about each subject in the video, or you can just write it in the description, be like at the 2-minute 52-second mark, I talked about loops. You know? Like that would be way better.
Yeah.
Better than an in-class.
I feel like that's very teacher dependent. I've definitely had like very math. I've definitely had math and math teachers who are a lot more we'll say interactive. And I feel like you could get to a point where you would probably want that interactivity.
Yeah, that would be like what he was trying to do in that group call. And
Yeah.
you can just say something along the lines of what you're gonna do, or you can send it to the chat, or you can send a picture of your like your potential solution to the chat while there's still the video going. It's
Yeah.
basically like this Discord.
Yeah, but you know what that
Whereas
doesn't do?
this Twitch. What's that?
You know what that doesn't do? Give me dopamine when I see people.
Dude, I don't understand. Like you want to socialize with school?
No, you absolutely socialize at school.
I don't know. I'm so used to everybody else turning. They have their clicks, and I just sit there. Like legitimately.
Well, yeah, but those clicks, like, you know, the idea is to get a click of your own and or join a click, if that makes sense.
I've only had like 5 classes ever where I've actually had a friend in the class or something where I enjoyed to talk to regularly and had fun about it. They were definitely, like I normally would talk to whoever was sitting next to me, but they were always unpleasant. Like, to some degree, they either never really add anything, and always, like it always seemed like I was just annoying them to talk to me. They never really talked to me, they never asked me anything, they wouldn't care.
Right.
And like, no matter what I'm trying to do, they just don't want to talk.
Right.
And I'm cool with that, again, it's just like, why do I have to be next to this person who's just draining my energy?
it's when you connect with people, you connect with people, you know. But school is absolutely a time where you can socialize. And that was the point I was getting across, is that I'm not trying to hit people up after my online class and be like, hey, what are you guys doing after this? You want to go out and virtually drink together?
You mean you guys want to like match up in a Smash lobby or something?
You guys want to match up in a Smash lobby and drink or something?
I mean, that's probably a thing.
I mean, I'm sure, but my point more is that when you're socializing, there's an in that you already have because you're in person with them. There's that, you know, you can be like, hey, you looked like you were struggling. Hey, you looked like, you know, XYZ, all of these things.
Yeah,
There's
that's not an interaction I've ever had in any class.
that's an interaction I've had when I've been trying to pick up chicks, but that's besides the point. I did.
That's never really been my forte, so I've never really had to worry about that part.
Oh, believe you me, I'm not very good at it either. I don't know if you can.
Oh, yeah.
You could tap. Fuck off.
Hey, man.
I have had 3 girlfriends, and I know that's more than you've had, but you're the one who's caring about the numbers right now. Neither of us are good at it.
To be honest, it was painfully easy for me, considering we have a third party who make it, like, appear that what's going on. So, like, there wasn't a lot of picking up or anything. There wasn't a lot of, like, effort put in on any side. It was just, like, a pretty straightforward, like, hey, this option's here. Everybody's interested.
Well, I'm glad.
It's just like, oh, yeah, tap it.
I'm glad for you, but I gotta say, in the last fuck, oh my god, I'm not trying to play this right now, actually. Gotta say, it's hard to find somebody who wants you when it's hard to find somebody.
Oh, did you just cut the stream?
No, I'm flipping games.